KTM 790 Adventure R, Yamaha Tenere 700, midweight adventure bikes. Yeah, they're pretty hot right now, and a lot of people are looking into them. And you know what? Between those two, those are the best out there. And you know what? We're going to talk about which one is probably the better bike, best bang for buck, coming up next.
Happy Friday, everybody. Nice, sunny. Oh yeah, it's really hot here in Texas right now. I'm not going to sit there and waste too much of your time tonight. We're going to pretty much jump right into it. Thank you so much to everybody. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, make sure you're part of 690 ADV. Go to 690adv.com and sign up. Thank you to all our Patreons. On to the rant and ride. KTM 790 Adventure R, not the S, the R. And we're also going to get into the Tenere from Yamaha, the 700. Those are two, basically the middleweight. Those are the heavyweights, man. I don't care what anyone says. There's nothing else out there that's really going to compare to those two bikes, especially if you're wanting to do some road work and you are also wanting to get out and totally get out in it. And I mean in it. Thick. So I'm talking about getting out in the nasty stuff. Those two bikes are really the two middleweight bikes that if you were going to basically travel and adventure out into the deep stuff, those are the two you're really going to want to those are the two you're going to want to pay attention to. And the reason being is because they were built for that. That's what they were built around. They really were first built around the dirt, and then they put the road work in there secondary, to be quite honest with you. And not only that, the middleweight bikes really were reigned for a while between two motorcycles, Triumph and BMW. And that was just for a little while, but now with the 790 and the 700, I hate to break the news to everybody. I don't care what you say. There's nothing you can put down in the comment that's going to change my mind. Those two will flat destroy off-road the BMW 800 and the Triumph Tiger 800. There is absolutely no competition. No way, shape, or form. The one nice thing is the KTM 790 Adventure R. You could get that pretty much last year. Yamaha Tenere 700. Well, if you're lucky, they're saying either this week or next week before you're going to be able to pick one up in the States. They have just dragged this out way too long. But the beauty part is you're going to be able to get one, and that bike is going to be a fantastic bike. So between those two motorcycles, I've had a lot of people asking me in emails, not only emails but also in comments on different videos, about adventure bikes and stuff like that. And really, what's the better, bike to get between the middleweight bikes? They don't really want a small one, but they really don't want that big 1200 either. To me, these are the two you really want to put your bullseye on if you want to buy one. One costs really substantially more than the other. And is it really worth the extra ponies of cash to buy that bike? The KTM 790R, it weighs 417 pounds. So let's start with weight right out of the gate. Because weight, we all know, is not a big deal on the road. It's actually kind of nice on the road because it helps plant that bike, and it makes it nice when you're riding and you're behind traffic, say like a semi-truck, or if you're getting a lot of crosswind and things like that. So 417 is not bad. Now that's a dry weight. The Yamaha is 454 pounds. Wet. So in all reality, between the two bikes, you would think that the Yamaha, in all honesty, is, the heavier bike. Well, it actually is the heavier bike. But there's a reason why it's heavier. Well, I'm just kidding. There is no reason why it's heavier. It actually is a heavier bike. And it all comes down to the fuel and the liquids. The KTM is going to hold 5.3 gallons of fuel. The Yamaha, 4.2. So when you fuel up that KTM 790 Adventure R, in all reality, it's actually more bang for buck on the mileage. And then I know what a lot of people are saying, the estimated MPGs. Well, the miles per gallon for both bikes are almost identical at 56 miles per gallon. But if you're getting 5.3 gallons in the KTM 790R, and you're getting 4.2 gallons in the Yamaha Tenere 700, that's the difference of almost 60 miles on a trip. And the KTM is going to come in at roughly about the same, or maybe just a tad lower in the weight. Yeah, that's kind of a big deal. At least it is to me. That's kind of a big deal. So, does that really make the KTM 790 Adventure R a better bike? Not really. But it does have a pretty good point whenever you can actually travel more distance. The height of the bikes, that's really a big factor for a lot of people. A lot of people don't put the beeps and the whistles and things like that, which they are nice. But in all reality, height is a big deal, especially for short riders. The KTM is actually shorter. It's a shorter bike. 33.5 inches. And then the Yamaha Tenere 700 is 34.4, so it's almost an inch difference. That doesn't seem like much, but in all reality, it's pretty much a big deal. I mean, for a lot of people. And you can also lower those bikes a little bit more, so you can actually get them down if you are a short rider. Now, I said once, I said it before, both of these bikes are, it's not even an if, they are the kings of the middleweights. Now, the Yamaha Tenere 700 is going to set you back about $10,000. It's $999,999, whatever you want to call it. The KTM is $12,400. Now, the Yamaha is a no-frills adventure bike. It's got adjustable suspension. It's got the look. It's nice. It doesn't have cornering ABS like the KTM. It doesn't have Bluetooth connectivity with the KTM Ride. It doesn't have some of these extra things that are really, it depends on what you really need in a motorcycle. Is it really worth the extra $2,500 to get the KTM? Well, that's for you to decide, in all honesty. But for me, for what KTM did and what they put into that bike, I think it's worth the $2,500 for that R&D that they put into it. And I know that there's a lot of people that are going to go, oh, the bike is manufactured in China and all these things. I don't care about that. That's irrelevant to me. But traction control, ABS, cornering ABS, some of those things, that comes at a cost. It's got also the WP suspension, which I just think is more superior than the suspension that they're putting on the Yamaha. But at the end of the day, if you're looking for a bike and you want an adventure bike, those are the two that you want to look at. Those are the two that you really want to bullseye on, because they are going to do the best work for what you want to do. And as being a new rider, I think these two are really set up to travel and actually get out and do that adventure camping that I like to do when I actually get to do it. They're not much difference in horsepower. I mean, you're talking almost 100 cc's between the KTM versus that, so that's going to be the difference. It's like 94 versus 75 or 76 horsepower. I don't care about horsepower that much. I like the torque, and the torque is above 50 foot-pounds on both bikes, so that's really good. They're both going to be good on the low ends, and I just think you're going to win either way. But I've had a lot of people email me and ask between, like these two bikes and other bikes like the Africa Twins and the Triumph Tigers, and the other thing, all those bikes are great bikes, man. I'm not bashing them. I like them all. But I'm telling you right now, if you want a middleweight that you can travel and it's sub 500 pounds and it feels even lighter, feels like maybe a 400-pound bike, even loaded up, those are the bikes, man. The KTM 790 Adventure R and the just kidding, it's not a Super, but the Tenere 700 from Yamaha, that bike, those two are going to be the kings, and those are the two that you want to look at. So really what it boils down to is your wallet and how much you can afford and what you can spend. I personally think the KTM overall is just a little bit better bike. I give it a 90-10, that it's basically 90%, you know, that Yamaha is to the KTM, but not by much. The one thing that makes it sweet is that basically that $2,000 or that $2,500. But you do get a lot of bang for buck with that KTM whenever you buy it. So, I'm Joe, 690 ADV. Thanks for stopping in and thanks for sharing a little bit of your time. And if you're a new rider or if you're a rider looking for a new bike and you want to go adventure, you might want to look at these two bikes right here, because the two bikes, if you compare them and do your own research, you're going to find out that those bikes, man, they're the best. They are the best. And I just think KTM has edged Yamaha by just a little bit, not by much. So if you're looking for a new adventure bike, think about the KTM 790 Adventure R or the Yamaha Tenere 700. I think you win. The nice thing is you can actually finally get a Tenere either this week or next week. Anyway, hey, hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Be part of the channel. Thank you so much. Be safe. Get out there. Man, it's hot in Texas, man. You can fry an egg on this freaking helmet. See you next week. Thank you so much. 690 out.